Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer tournament match. We are in the bracket stage. We have a top 32 match today. We have the number 1 seed Gem versus the number 33 seed Zelgadissan. Going to be a very hype match today. Both very excellent randomizer players. Going to be Slim Kirby on commentary with my good buddy here, Sabatender. Sabo, are you looking forward to this match?
You bet, Slim. I'm really hyped for this one. Both these guys, I really respect them in the community here. Gem's got some history winning the speed gaming routine. We're already underway. Hey, good grief. These guys do want to go fast. And Zelda always kicking around at the like top of our SRL leaderboard. Guy is consistent. So yeah, looking forward to a great race here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is that, that difference in the seeding, but, seeding sometimes, it's a very tricky thing, especially with Randomizer. We had a very competitive qualifier and group stage. Bracket stage is literally the best of the best, so, we got both really excellent players here. I know they'll definitely give us a very good showing for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we're starting out. Looks like we're heading kind of in the same direction. Gem's getting some bombs from the bush crab here, but we're checking out our forest locations first before heading probably down to Kakariko. We might see Gem actually pop out depending. He sometimes switches it up.
Oh boy.
Oh, really?
We got an ice rod on the lumberjack ledge.
Oh man. That's
or was that
pretty
fire
gross.
rod?
I think it was ice rod. I'm pretty sure I saw ice rod there. I don't know. Our little commentary stream is a little bit pixelated, but yeah, it's ice rod, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is a very tricky one. So both of our runners gonna want to see that pendant on Turtle Rock when they get to the Dark World for sure. Do not want to dig that out. They might still have to, even if it is a pendant. That's the thing, but we'll have to see what happens.
I mean, I guess it's good. We're not going to go on an ice rod hunt necessarily, but yeah, that's a really brutal spot for that to be.
Yeah, definitely. So getting to a very heavily dense location right now. We got Blind's hideouts. Let's see, getting a lot of rupees here today. A heart container to top it all off with, and some more rupees, and just one more location here in the back. Ooh, the Moon Pearl, okay.
It's a nice find. We're only 2 pieces away from Dark World access, I guess, at this point. So yeah, always nice to knock those off early on.
And so, after we take on the first big location of Kakariko, naturally we got to take care of the other one that's like right next door. You just love getting these nice 10 items right here.
So quick, yeah, real nice checks to be doing.
Wow, that's a lot of bombs that we could have gotten here, but thankfully the bush crab already gave us a nice fill of them already.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping that these... Oh, there's the book hanging out with the bottle vendor. You're hoping that these early Kakariko checks start pointing you in a direction right away. So far, we're not really seeing a whole heck of a lot. That book, I mean, I guess you can go check out Desert now. Makes it a little bit more appealing.
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes I like getting like the kind of point to desert just to kind of like unisolate that Agina's cave location.
I agree.
Gives more value to that general area. But honestly, getting that book, not a terrible thing, because now that we know what's on Lumberjack Ledge, if Turtle Rock happens to be a pendant, getting that pedestal knowledge as early as possible could definitely benefit.
Yeah, I mean, we've already got the potential for Ago. Why not also start thinking about pedestal? It could be that ugly.
It again just also just allows you to kind of route things in a more efficient manner. Like maybe, you want to activate the portal outside of Hyrule Castle early enough so you can use that as a quicker way to get to Palace of Darkness or something of that nature. There's just a lot of different things you can kind of, just change the routing even just a little bit with that knowledge.
Definitely, yeah. Every little bit of info helps.
So yeah, they're both going to check the race game item, which was a heart container. Not a bad find, but once again, not really any major progression at this point. Link's house just had a piece of heart here, so he didn't miss anything out by starting on the Sanctuary.
Alrighty, off to the South Shore here. Zelda taking the early lead here because I don't think he looked at the Lumberjack ledge.
He did not, so that is definitely one piece of intel that Gem's going to have over Zelda, which could, give him a slight advantage in that right, because well, there's those boots, so that might give Zelda that info a little sooner, actually, now.
Yeah, early boots, okay. So he'll, maybe check Bonk Rocks into the Lumberjack a little bit later on.
Yeah, definitely what I was thinking. Meanwhile, Gem gonna check the Uncle Cave outside the dam. We just have... Oh, there's our first sword.
And then Gem picking up a boomerang there.
And a mushroom.
Huh, all right. So what's going to come next here in Mini Moldarm Cave? It feels like we're waiting on one more piece to kind of like give us an indication if we get like lamp or cape or something. It makes me think that Aga might just be required for Dark World.
Yeah, that's true. When you get that Moon Pearl early, well, there's the glove upgrade. That's another piece. There's Flute. That's going to be some Death Mountain checks on the table. So we got some things there. Is Zelda gonna immediately save and quit and I think follow probably that Flute, or just have it to better access to the Light World at the very least?
Yeah, definitely. Might get back of escape, and also is maybe gonna check that Lumberjack location now.
This would be a good time to with those boots for sure. Also Gem, because Gem did not pick up that sword, going to be relying on bomb strats to get through the escape. Definitely something that can be done. And it's really cool watching people use bomb strats, because there's just a lot of different setups you can do to get some of the guards out of your way. And meanwhile, in the back of escape, just the blue mail for Zelga. And yeah, he's going to be going through some dark rooms here.
Huh, Guard didn't quite break the way Gem thought there. He had everything kind of set up there, but Guard was being a bit tricky.
Does get him down nonetheless, and has one bomb remaining. Meanwhile, Zelga does make it to the Dark Cross room, just needs to make it through this room and locate that chest. Have we found the map yet?
Ooh, yeah. I guess did we?
The map is probably here in Zelda's cell then, but yeah, it looks like Zelda did get some rupees from that particular chest, so... Or, okay, maybe it was early on. Maybe it was the first chest and I just didn't see it.
Alrighty, so probably Gem heading down to South Shore, going to collect those boots, glove, and flute next. Ooh, going for a mushroom turn-in. Okay, I like this. Why not?
Needs to do a kind of a mini fake flipper setup right there to actually get into this whirlpool, but yeah, that's what he is going to be checking next. Could be a potential where he'll probably, soft reset if this mushroom ends up not being leading to anything good, because obviously you may want to keep that mushroom for some fake powdering opportunities if that were to come up later on in the seed.
Yeah, definitely a good consideration. It might be a likely play here, seeing as he just finished with a save quit a second ago. You're right. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, okay, yeah, he is saving and quitting, so he's fine with keeping those bombs.
Alrighty, so Zelga activating that flute.
So now, looking at what Zelga has right now, I think Desert would actually be a pretty decent check for him right now. He can enter the dungeon, he can check the torch location. If we happen to find a fire source in this area, can potentially complete the dungeon as well. So that would be actually a good kind of starting point, I think, at least for the next part of this scene.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jem starting out with Mini Moldorm Cave here has me thinking that he might go all the way through to Agina and then over to the desert just in this little run here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. It's
Went for the save quit there. You get that flute and you want to activate it right away so you can start moving around the map a little bit quicker. So that's unfortunate. Going to cost him a little bit of time getting those boots, but everyone's going to do, I think, the same checks here in this early part of the game. So he's not going to lose too much time in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's never really a good feeling kind of skipping, especially like a Sphere 1 location with just like a lot of opportunities, because you know that, there's a good opportunity your opponent probably checked them out. Zelga pulling the bow from the hobo out of logic at this point, but still that does give him the capabilities of beating Eastern Palace if he chooses to. It's green pendant, but still it's 3 items. So, and plus 1 more, it being green pendant. So yeah, 4.
Interesting. If he wants to kind of keep with the logic break, he could really explore that option. Fire rod, okay.
Okay, now I'm really thinking desert.
yeah, that would be a really good play at this point.
Again, out of logic, but still, like, you have everything you need to complete it. It's crystal. Definitely want to go for that. And the Cane of Samaria.
Okay. So this little journey through the flipper checks kind of paid off for Zelga here. Got a couple more items that he can make use of a little bit later on in the run.
And again, the thing he does need to keep in mind is that he just, he hasn't found the flippers yet. Those items he did just pull off, he, technically wouldn't have them if he, did follow the logic. So you can kind of just keep following those, like, temporary, like, still in logic checks that he has. Maybe get the flippers from that, and then he can just kind of make his route from there. And, in the case of Desert, he'll be able to complete it in the process, so it'll definitely save him some time. Do you get another sword inside the back of Sahasrara, as well as a shield and some bombs?
Second sword is interesting. Okay, Jem getting those boots, that's going to feel good. Well, maybe not feel good because he's left it a little bit long, but, definitely start going fast now.
And like you said earlier, this will probably kind of lead him down the path of Desert, which is where Zelga's currently spending his time. So, kind of merge the paths together a little bit.
Alrighty, let's see where Jim goes next. Yeah, he's going for the desert. This is a good call.
And he's honestly not really even losing a lot of time. Like, oh wait, he's losing back for a second. Oh, he's going back here.
I wonder if he's thinking about the fire source situation.
Yeah.
You know?
I was actually going to say that I don't think it even would be that bad if he did decide to dip desert then, because, you know, you only need the fire source for the very end, and if we happen to find the mirror and mire access later on, like, that's something he can just come back and complete later pretty easily regardless. But still, yeah, definitely not a bad idea to kind of fish out that fire source anyway.
Ooh, looks like he's setting up a water walk there, so he might be following in Zelga's footsteps and, you know, picking up some of these items that were out of logic.
Yeah, definitely.
As we got a little bit of a lull in the action here, just going to quick shout out to our tracker today, Seiryu X. Click on those buttons behind the scenes. It's much appreciated, dude. Show the trackers some love. They do a lot of hard work, and you don't really get the credit for it that they deserve sometimes. So, Seiryu X, real boss.
Yep, definitely could not agree more. So yeah, Jem picking up his fire rod, going to be likely heading over here to pick up the Cane of Samaria as well. Man, there were just a lot of really good things Flipper walked today, now that I think about it.
Yeah, really loaded. Kind of makes you think that the actual logic of this seed might be a little bit goofy. So making these kind of skips to break the logic is probably in the player's best interest.
I love how Zelda used a combination of a bomb and his sword to finish off that land mode, but gets his first crystal about 16 minutes into the match. Curious to where he's going to go next. Right now, like, you know, we're still looking for, you know, a lamp to kind of put in that Agus, because that might actually be our Dark World access at this point. Things are kind of narrowing down. We also have, of course, the 2 checks we can make on the mountain at this current point in time as well. But yeah, really curious to where this seed kind of wants us to progress from here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting the feeling that we're going to find the lamp, and it might be like, I don't know, Eastern Palace or something kind of weird.
Right. Yeah, that's true. The Eastern is still very much.
How about a hook shot? Okay. That's going to open up a lot more checks. We might get our full Dark World access without requiring an Aga dip at this point then.
That's true, yep. Going to the mountain, that's going to be our next play for sure. A lot of stuff up there with that hook shot, so yeah, definitely going to be the most likely candidate here.
Alrighty, Jem slowly making his way through Desert Palace here. Just the way that the routing in the early part of the seed kind of worked out. He's only just a couple minutes behind maybe, but it's still plenty of time to catch up here.
He does have that Master Sword that could potentially kind of just speed a couple of rooms up a little bit. Also, like, you know, just could have a slightly faster Aga fight and get it all done in one cycle too. So, you know, there are definitely opportunities to speed it up. So a couple things on Zelga's side. We did get the Ether Medallion from the old man, and we have found our second bow, progressive bow. It's going to be on top of Spectacle Rock. Need a mirror to grab that, but I imagine it's going to be a very quick pickup once we get that mirror, so just to have a faster Ganon fight.
Alrighty, Paradox Cave. This is 7 items for Zelda to check here. Cash money and Titan's mitts. Very cool. This will be for a nice mountain trip here. We'll be able to flip into the Dark World once he's done with all the Light World checks and get a couple more checks out of it.
Unfortunately, it is kind of the, like, it's convenient Dark World access in some right, but, you know, not having that hammer, you also just kind of have one entrance to the Dark World, at least on the land anyway. So it does kind of limit some access points, but still, it is Dark World access that is going to open up a lot more of this game. And will give us that information on whether or not that Ice Rod's going to be required, at least to some extent anyway.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, another sword hanging out on the floating island there.
And that's a great one, too. It's one you can kind of, you know, postpone a little bit, because it is kind of out of the way, and we don't have mirror yet anyway, but, you know, if we get into a position where we're heading to Ganon's Tower, and we think an extra sword would kind of, you know, make the difference a little bit, it's something you can very quickly grab on the way to GT if need be.
Most definitely. There's our first bottle. Meanwhile, Gem looking flawless in the Lamb Molus fight there with the fire rod. It was easy, easy.
Yeah, he's played this game before, it looks like.
I think so, yeah.
Played it a couple of times. Oh my gosh, we have a pendant turtle rock.
Cool. All right. Should be okay. It would be pretty awful if like Trinex was holding on to something at this point.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a great feeling. We'll have to definitely see how this plays out.
I think as a runner, that's a huge sigh of relief, and you're not going to consider it until much later, until you've kind of exhausted a lot of options. So these guys are probably pretty happy to see that.
Oh, and okay, there's the other Dark World access, the hammer inside Super Bunny Cave. So, yeah, we are kind of honestly starting to get down to some of those, you know, last remaining items we need. Did I see correctly that Thieves Town was the other pendant?
You could be right. Not gonna lie, I was really focused on the Turtle Rock aspect of that map check.
Yeah, that's kind of me too, honestly.
Yes, chat is confirming Thieves Town and Turtle Rock. So, I mean, we're looking for a mirror, and we need to know what the medallion is for Misery Mire. And then I guess, like, logically, we need some flippers. Actually, we need that for Swamp Palace anyways, so we need some flippers.
Definitely need that for sure. But yeah, those are, you know, definitely the big ones we're looking for. So, you know, seeing that Bombos would not be a great find, because obviously that'd mean that Turtle Rock would be open, and, you know, there's always a good chance for something to be in Turtle Rock whenever it is open, just because of how dense of a location it is, and you got Mimic Cave on top of that. But again, not having Mirror, not having Bombos, not on the table right now, so they can at least kind of breathe easy, focus on what they have available, and cross that bridge later if we actually even get to that point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much that's opened up just thanks to this play over to the mountain. This could really diverge quite a bit at this point, so it'll be interesting to see what Gem decides to do. Zelda checking out the kind of eastern, probably maybe dip into Pod after this, but Gem without a bow might go for like Skullwoods in the Village of Outcasts area. Or, I mean, actually Misery Mire maybe. I'd be up for that.
That's true. Again, we still need the medallion info for that, but yeah, like for sure, that would be a good play. It's very customary to see like a lot of people go to like kind of the Village of Outcasts and Skull Woods area to start out with, but I almost think because Thieves Town is a pendant, you almost want to kind of save that for later, focus on the other dungeons you have available to you right now. Like I think Pod would be a good place to start here, just because it has a lot of items. It's on one side of the map, and you can kind of work your way around in a specific path to get to the west side if you actually need to go there.
Definitely, yeah. All right, Zelda, checking out Hype Cave here. Just some bombs to start. Yo, chest turns. This guy knows what's up. Cape and some love. Okay. We'll be able to scout out the bumper ledge, but other than that, not a whole lot going on there.
I would say very low hype cave, but honestly, I do like the cape find. Cape is a very great defensive item that can really help you out, especially in the Ganon fights. So I'd give it a little higher than a 1, probably like 3, 4, if I'm being really generous. Heck, we haven't seen Bumper Ledge yet, so that cape could be way more important than what we think it is right now.
Yeah, definitely. Alrighty, Jem's got that hammer too, so he's got a lot more of the world open to him now.
And, that is a very good point, chat. We have gotten a lot already, so Hype Cave didn't really have much of a chance to be hyped, so... Oh, and there's the lamp, the first chest inside Palace of Darkness.
Ah, interesting. I mean, like, both these guys can definitely handle dark rooms, but if you don't have to do them, it's nice. It's a nice little treat to not have to push yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, Gem starting from Link's house, likely heading down to Hype Cave first. With the Gold Glove, might decide to go left out of here and then head for the digging game and then up into Village of Outcasts. Or he could head and follow Zelda over to Pod, but without the bow, it's going to be a little bit rough for him if he goes in there.
Yeah, he just does not have, at least right now, like, that hobo location's kind of isolated for him to an extent. Pretty much, needs to mirror to get the bow on top of Spectacle Rock, and, again, hobo's isolated, so, he can't even use the mirror to get over there and check, because no flippers either, so he's gonna probably make a different decision here just because he doesn't have that bow to clear Pod.
Alrighty, he's heading west.
I almost thought he was going to even check the Bombos tablet there for a second, but
yeah.
Going straight to the west side. Let's see what's on. Old Stumpy, just red rupees.
So far, the adventure into Palace of Darkness hasn't really turned up a whole heck of a lot. So, although it looks like we've got all the keys already collected for the most part, so should be some goodies coming. There's a shovel.
And while Gem is using a shovel, Zelda finds a shovel.
Many digs. Many digs.
Way too many digs.
He's not interested in that blue boomerang at all.
I mean, you spent almost like high 20 digs finding it, and you don't want to have that extra item animation on top of that. Yeah.
Nah. Alrighty, Gem, I'm gonna give us a new piece here. We're gonna see hammer pegs. Zelga setting up a death warp there. Hasn't found anything in the back part of the dungeon either, so gonna head for Helmasaur and just finish off this dungeon. But yeah, didn't really turn up a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, and when you think about the logic, honestly, because, this was a bow-lock pod, essentially, we weren't going to find both mirror and flippers in here, just due to the nature of where the two bows are, so it did kind of lessen the number of potential items that could have been here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's a crystal, and it's got pretty good density, so it makes definitely good sense to check this when you're in the area.
Alright, Gem opening up Thieves Town. Might take a peek at the first 4. I don't know if he'd do all of the dungeon.
Yeah, I've seen many races where just kind of making that decision on how deep you want to dig Pendant Thieves has always been quite the conundrum, so to speak, because, yeah, they're pretty good volume in the front, but if there's nothing in the front, you don't really want to go to the back, but then there's the chances where there are something in the back. It's a hard thing to decide.
It is one of those dungeons that, for whatever reason, really there is like a dilemma that comes up in runners' minds. Unlike a lot of other dungeons where you're either going to commit and you're going to dive the whole thing, but yeah, Thieves is like that first 4. It's like such a turning point in a race, potentially at least.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Gem going to be actually going to Skullwoods first, which definitely makes sense because it's again a dungeon need to complete. Zelga working on Helmasaur King right now.
Alrighty, first item dug out of Skullwoods already here. It's just a heart container.
Helmasaur King getting way too friendly with Zelga there in the bottom part of the screen, but does take him down, and we find the final sword of this this particular seed. So Zelga is up to tempered now. Probably not going to be worrying about that Death Mountain sword then at this point.
No, definitely not.
Zelga is actually not done with Pod. Do understand he kind of left this one chest here just in case, like Helmasaur had the item, but since he didn't, and even then he was pretty close anyway to the boss regardless. Oh, we got the bottom chest here too.
Okay, that's why he's going back, because I was going to say, if he's only got one key and this is the only thing, it should be a key for a key, but that one hanging out down below there could be something then.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chad. I thought I saw him go here too, but maybe this is just many of the other rando seeds I've watched in the last few weeks.
Alright, Gem making his way for the moth there. Shouldn't be too long before he's there. Really nice through at the torches room here.
And Zelda's actually doing something that you kind of mentioned earlier. Going to be going over to Misery Mire. Going to see what the medallion was. I did not see that.
Whoa, that was quick, yeah.
Again, we have the quality of the commentary stream to contend with, but still, I did not see that.
Well, if he's quitting, yeah.
Okay, that's Bombos though.
Like, what a tease, you know? We've got 2 medallions of the 3, and the dungeons require the one that we don't have, of course. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so Zelga is looking like he's heading for a play that I saw mentioned in chat about Tower of Hera. Our runner skipped out on it because they got the hammer in the Dark World, but now they have access to Hera in the Light World here. So, you know, it makes sense to take care of another crystal, and a couple items are in there as well.
That's true, and there's another overworld location right next to Tower of Hera that we still need to check out, the Ether Tablets. So, that's another good reason. Tower of Hera is also a red crystal on top of that, so plenty of good reasons to come up here.
Alrighty, Gem taking care of King's Tomb here. Kind of split the pedestal in half there, or the tombstone.
Yeah.
That's kind of silly looking.
The silly things you can do in this game.
It's so broken, and we love it.
I prefer to say that, it's not broken. It just gives the game personality.
This is true.
That's what it is.
I guess the problem for Gem here is not, without that bow, he's not really able to like make some plays and kind of like make more, guesses as to what the seed wants him to do. So he's kind of limited as to what he can do. I'm thinking that Hera might actually be the play that he needs to make to maybe get him the flippers or the mirror or something to get that bow, get him kind of back on track.
Yeah, that's the big thing. That first logical bow, I'm still wondering how exactly that's being meant to be routed in here, because we still have not found, the proper sequence to that, and we're running low. Hera's obviously a choice here. We still have not seen Eastern Palace either. That's another Sphere 1 location that just has not been checked yet.
And we've also got some kind of like less exciting stuff like Smith Chain without the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of, that could be a thing.
Ooh, and I believe with that compass find, that means there is going to be an item in the big chest. Zelga used the Herapot glitch, which, skips that tile room when the big key is down there, but now with those, or actually, did he get both items? Oh no, he did. Never mind. There must have been one in the very first room that I just didn't see.
Could be, or maybe he is going to give it a skip. He's got a bit more on the table to, kind of see if he might find something, Elf might be able to dodge that location. I feel like Gem might actually go for it. He feels like a little bit more limited as to what he might have to do, so could be a big play if it does turn out to be something.
Yeah, very fair point. I guess I didn't consider that.
All right, Zelda heading for the village. Gem has shown us most of this, except for Thieves Town. Gem just opened the door, didn't want to go in. Looks like Gem is going to do the Herapot as well here. He's trying to set it up with the, spin speed or the hook speed here. We saw Zelda pull off some similar swag tech there to get this glitch done. So, but seeing that the big chest is going to be something, I'm thinking that Gem's got to go back in for it. He's going to be a little annoyed, but I think I see him going back for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as you pointed out, and what Chet's also pointed out, just not having that bow. Like at least Zelda had the opportunity to check out a couple of other things, so Jen's gonna want to find a way to put something in logic that would get one of those.
Could be interesting a couple of minutes here if if Jem decides to head on down into the Hera basement, and he is. This is interesting. I am looking forward to seeing what's going to be here.
Yeah, this is definitely when these races get very, very interesting and intriguing because, just having a certain item set up, like a one item difference, can just drastically change like the routes of these runners in these races. And this one check here could honestly be the difference between this race. So we'll have to see how it plays out here.
Yeah. I would say that, yeah, I mean, with Zelda leaving this item behind, he's kind of committing to, like, if that's what it is, then, like, so be it. I'm probably going to last location it. So, could be a while before he gets back here if this is something big.
Well, it is something big. It's the big key, but I get what you're saying.
Getting ahead of myself there. I was just so excited.
Oh yeah, for sure. Understandable.
Really nice with that Hera pot there.
Yeah, there's like a lot of different setups you can do for that Hera pot as well, so it's interesting watching how, different runners attempt that too, just with all the different setups. Ooh, just a red rupee. Okay, I think it's got to be Eastern at this point. Like 3 items there.
Yeah, that's all we're down to.
And like you did mention the blacksmith chain, which is really annoying without the mirror, but at this point, just looking at the items that were behind that flipper block, like, it just seems like it's got to be a Sphere 1 flippers to me.
Mm-hmm. Jem is a little bit trapped in the back half of Tower of Hera there, but he's had to go back and flip the switch, and now he's out. All right, so Zelda clean up the front half of Skullwoods here. Heart container, I think, in this chest here. So where he goes next, he's starting to run out of locations as well. I'm thinking, I mean, he could consider a thieves dive at this time, since he doesn't have too much else and he's put it off for a while now.
Yep, thieves or Eastern, I think, at this point. Either of those two.
Ah, sick kid. Yeah, okay. Yuck. Thanks, sick kid. So for anyone just joining us here, this is game one of a 3-game set between Gem and zelgadissan here. It's just going to be game one today. I think they got game two scheduled for tomorrow, and the third, I'm not sure when that's going to be. Maybe right after the second one, if necessary. This is the round of 32. Hey, there's our flippers in that first chest. So Gem hopefully gets over to that bow pretty quick. He's also got Ice Palace to consider as well at this point.
Yeah, and with those flippers, like that's pretty much all of those items that we've seen that were in the Zora area. That puts all of those back in logic. The seed, I think, is fully in logic at this point. So now it's just kind of following where to go from here. Still can't do anything with Swamp because need that mirror first, but Ice Palace, that may not be a bad call here coming up soon.
Yeah, and I think for Gem, I mean, he'll get the hobo, so he'll get the bow as well if he does go for Ice Palace now. I'm thinking we're going to have a situation where it's going to be Mirror and then Bombos in Swamp Palace. It's going to kind of be a bit linear. It'd be kind of a curve if we got the Bombos medallion first. Could lead to a Turtle Rock situation where the Mirror could be hanging out in there.
Right. But yeah, literally just Mirror and Bombos for go right now. Anything else, like, might be some other items we might need to pick up to fish out other items, but probability kind of low for that. Looking like we, at this point, can probably avoid that Ice Rod.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good on that front, which is a relief for sure. So Zelda clearing out the back half of Thieves Town. He's going to be doing some checks that Gem is definitely skipping out on. Okay, so that bow leading Gem towards Pod. Don't blame him. It's a dense, location to check. Unfortunately, it would be really nice if he could have go-moded this. Would have saved him a bunch of time. But you can't really resist, 5 items.
Yeah. At this point, with Crystal Dungeons, it was 5 items versus 3. So it definitely makes sense to go to Pod first. But unfortunately, as we already know, that Gem doesn't. The only thing he's going to get from here is really just the convenience of the lamp, and that's really about it. There was nothing of major notes that would help progress the seed any further, so...
Alrighty, we haven't seen anything juicy in the back part of Thieves Town, but perhaps Blind is holding on to something.
And Chad actually pointed out something I didn't consider. Gem didn't really have any magic, so he kind of was forced in the Pod regardless.
Yeah, I mean, could have made the choice to maybe go to the potion shop and pick some goo up, but that also takes time, so why not just do a crystal dungeon you can do?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, Thieves Town not paying off, so not really too bad for Zelda, because at this point Gem is focusing on a dungeon that we know doesn't have anything, so he's still kind of in the lead at this point. At this point, I'd say whoever gets in the Ice Palace first kind of has a bit of a small lead, but that's really about it at this point. We still have to find, obviously, those last 2 items. Very interesting race so far.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like it's been kind of like Zelga's been leading the way a little bit here, but I feel like there's just the possibility that things could shake up still. You know, these last couple items could hide from our runners a fair bit.
Yeah, because let's not forget, Jem is the #1 seed of this tournament. He was, you know, one of the top qualifier scorers, went undefeated in the group stage, is currently undefeated in the bracket stage, so, you know, he definitely knows what he's doing. Zelda putting up one heck of a fight for sure. So it's gonna be a close, good finish, I think, for this one.
Kind of looks like that boomerang bounced its way back into Zelga's hands there, and he just kind of,
Yeah.
oh, I guess I'm taking it.
Zelda is taking the frog along here.
Alright, he's going to say hi to Stumpy because he hasn't done this check yet. And I'm guessing he's going to... Okay, he's just going to save quit now. I thought he might maybe go all the way to Catfish or something, but this is, I think, the smarter play. Now, I mean, with you know, every one of these checks that Zelda is knocking off, that Jem has already done, with the exception of the Smith. The Smith could be interesting. You know, Jem's catching up. It won't be long before he's done with this dungeon, and then, you know, it's kind of anybody's game.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually interested if Zelda will kind of make the play to ice after this, because you know you could go back up, do purple chest, but you know we don't have mirror yet, so we can't combine that with Bombo's tablet. So at this point, yeah, probably focusing on a crystal dungeon might be a bit more profitable, and that looks like that's exactly what he's doing here.
Man, death warps are fun when you have 14 hearts.
Yeah, just be glad he didn't have a fairy at that point.
Fairy and red mail or something, just make it the absolute nightmare death warp. Alrighty, Jem heading for Helmasaur King, and then he's gonna have a decision to make as to what to do next. Zelda showing us our first chest in Ice Palace. I think that was the compass. I just kind of glanced and missed it there.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, digging this one. Let's see what we might find. This will also open up the Pyramid Fairy for Zelda here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably what he's thinking at this point.
Alrighty. And as our runners are just kind of making their way through dungeons here, just another quick shout out to our tracker, SayRyuX. Clicking those buttons behind the scenes. Much appreciated, buddy.
Tracker hype.
Very hype.
Okay, so Jem gonna start his fight against the Helmasaur King. Gonna be rewarded with a nice tempered sword after the fact, which is always good.
So Jem holding out the sword there, and then using the hammer, it kind of extends the hammer's hitbox there, so you can get some more powerful hits in on Helma, but you gotta get real close. Nicely done, though.
Very nicely done, and we are tied up once again with crystals.
Alrighty, so Jem's got that flute ready. Where is he going?
I feel like it's gotta be Ice Palace, but he's going to... Oh, maybe not. Oh, you know, we have not seen the shovel spot, have we?
Wow, yeah, that could be something. I guess with the lack of mirror, we've had our runners run by this spot in the Dark World, but in the light, it's been kind of weird. So this will be interesting as well.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, it was an interesting check, just not an interesting result.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jem also going to be heading into the Ice Palace play next.
Yeah, this seed, you know, it was so generous early on. We had so many items, so many ways we could go, and like now we've been completely bottlenecked, looking for either the Bombos medallion or the mirror. It's going to be one or the other, and either one kind of could send our runners in different directions. So it could get kind of goofy from here on out.
Yeah, it really could. Checking the big chest, just a hard container. And you know, we've had a Sphere 1 dungeon available to us this whole time. And it's crazy to think that, you know, like, either the mirror could have been just laying there this whole time.
Wow, yeah, right. Eastern Palace has been a no-go zone for both runners. It very well could have been the answer all along.
Funnily enough, that could have been, just in terms of spheres, our logical first bow on
Yeah, right?
Spectacle Rock.
Zelda making that cold stare fight look easy, keeping him trapped in the corner there. Alrighty, so he's out of here. 5-6 crystals. I'm guessing he's done this for, as we were saying, you know, for a reason, and he's likely heading to do that check probably right after this.
Yeah, at this point it makes sense too. It's, you know, something else. It's what you've most recently got. You've been kind of pushed in this direction due to the flipper find and all those items that were behind flippers. I mean, you had both Samaria and Fire Rod behind those flippers, so it's like, maybe they want me to go to Ice Palace, I don't know. So yeah, they gotta be thinking that. First though, Zelda also checking the shovel item, or the shovel spot rather.
That disappointing big 20.
Yep, I believe this is going to be Pyramid Fairy, and you know, Catfish has still been kind of isolated as well, so that's probably also going to be on Zelda's mind. This would be the time to do it.
Alrighty, and Jem winding his way through Ice Palace here. He's maybe, I don't know, it feels like he's about 2 minutes behind at this point, 2 to 3 minutes. The amount of time that can be easily made up in GT routing in these last couple items that we're looking for. One or two kind of out of the way checks. If he makes a play, it's still definitely on the table that he could take this one. So don't count him out yet, folks.
Yeah, honestly, like in-game stuff, you can never like leave out anyone with just the many different things that can happen in endgame. Just sharper execution, slightly different routing for the big key, a lot of interesting stuff. And we get the magic powder from the Pyramid Fairy.
That's not what our runners wanted to see, another fetch quest item. I mean, the powder's a nice safety, but we've definitely got enough health at this point that doesn't really factor in.
One thing that I guess the powder would do, it would kind of put, kind of inconveniently, but still it would kind of put the mind on the purple chest a little bit in case, that happens to be our mirror on the purple chest. We can at least, go over to the village, check that powder, and then maybe do purple chest along with it. But we'll have to see what Zelda's thinking here.
Yeah. Missed the toss with the first rock there. Let's see what Catfish is holding on to here. Some green goo.
Okay, so at this point for Zelda, it's gonna be making those checks I just talked about, or Eastern Palace. Or nope, Eastern Palace, that's what it is. For a minute I thought he was going to 6, but nope, 5.
Yeah. So I mean, like this based on density that we have left on the map, this is the right play to make. Your odds are best that you're going to find something here, but it's going to feel pretty bad finding anything in here when you could have been here an hour ago.
Mm-hmm. And you also got to be thinking that if both items happen to be in this dungeon, and just looking and saying, hey, my opponent's not finished yet, okay, good, they may have made the same moves I made. I'm not out of this yet.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, if they were in here and your opponent came into this dungeon like right away, yeah, this could be the jet of all jet seeds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you had the flippers in the first chest in Thieves Town. The mirror would get you one of the bows. Like that, with how front-loaded this seed has been, like you'd expect this to be almost like a sub-hour seed.
Yeah.
But again, that's just assuming that both items are in here, which we do not know yet. Obviously, we'll be finding that out very soon.
The suspense is killing me here. Finding all the dungeon items and none of the good stuff yet, because I think we found a couple of bombs.
Yep.
Bombs. Why?
You said it, not me.
Alrighty, so checking out the vanilla big key location here. This 50-50, if this is going to be our last item.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
We'll see. On the bright side, we'll get 2 items from Armos, because we are getting that green pendant as well.
True. So Jem finishing up with Catfish here after doing the big bomb. I see like I feel like he's gonna follow Zelda here and head for Eastern Palace. I don't think he wants to go into Back of Thieves.
Yeah. Oh, he's checking the powder.
Interesting.
You know, this could swing things around a little bit.
Ooh, and Zelda misses the quick kill on the Armos Knights here. Gonna be just a little bit slower, but not too bad. Wow, okay. It's green pendant or wow, what's the back gonna be? Oh my goodness. Crap as well.
Green pendant or purple chest.
Man, I'm getting stressed out just watching this one.
I know, me too.
It's that like runner's anxiety.
Yeah. How do you guys do this? Maybe I should be glad I didn't qualify. Oh, there it is. There's Bob.
Oh wow. Okay. Gross. Also gross. Like I mean, now do we do Turtle Rock?
You gotta do Meyer first. It's a crystal.
You have to. Yeah.
Yeah, go for Meyer first. Oh, and that's the other thing. We do not know if Pedestal is dead yet.
Oh God. The thing you never want to consider as a runner. It's creeping up there. Hopefully not, but man, that'd be just the meanest thing.
And like, even if you make a ped check, and you know it's not mirror, that still doesn't necessarily put it off the table because it could just always be on Trinex.
Oh.
I'll say it again. How do you guys do this?
Alrighty, so Zelda is in Mire now. We're getting our first look at a couple of chests here. We're gonna check the bridge chest here first. Okay, that's one of 2 items in this dungeon, so you know, only one more shot at finding the mirror in here.
And again, gonna put this out there just in case, you know, those who have joined late. We know where the ice rod is. The ice rod is at Lumberjack Ledge, which means if there were to be an item on Trinex or Pedestal, we'd need to beat Aga Tower to get that ice rod. That's why this is such a interesting, in quotation marks, scenario here.
Yeah, and it was one of those scenarios that we had kind of written off early on. You know, seeing the ice rod, it was you know, a little bit tough, but we were like, okay, it's not going to happen. And now it's still on the table, an hour and 10 minutes in, basically.
Yeah. And it's such a weird thing because honestly, even seeing like mirror on the pedestal, that's not even the worst scenario because, you know, at that rate, you know where mirror is going to be. You can get the ice rod. You can at least maybe skip like a few things in Turtle Rock. But if you don't get that mirror on pedestal message, like you need to full clear TR. It could be on Trinex. You might still need to get that ice rod.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, it's not in Mire.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, like, Bombos really, it does only open Turtle Rock, so Turtle Rock is going to be the next play. And you would assume that you're going to find the mirror in the dungeon before Trinex. I mean, if we don't see it in Turtle Rock, then oh boy.
Yeah. You know, I'm actually wondering something, like, where was Mushroom again? Because Zelda doesn't have that yet. According to the tracker, anyway.
Huh.
Because, like, we know Mushroom leads to nothing anyway. But, like, you know, that is something I'm noticing on his tracker that's not lit up, but on Gems.
Oh, right. It was in Escape.
Oh, right, yeah, the Uncle Chest. That's right.
Alrighty, Jem's gonna grab that Bombos medallion. Probably gonna follow with the Meyer play. You gotta go with the crystal, I think. The gamble into TR is just a tough one to make.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, Zelda, considering Zelda hasn't done Front of Escape, he might want to do that before making the play for TR. I mean, we know nothing's in there of importance, but you know, before you head up the mountain and make your way all the way over there, he might consider clearing up a couple of spots like that.
Yeah, true. And, like, we still have purple chests, so...
Alright, he's starting on the mountain. Looks like he is just going to go for Turtle Rock. I mean, you got to go for this dense play. So he's making a good call here.
Yeah, I guess at this point, like, you know, while it would be nice to have that safety of checking the pedestal, you're up against Gem. You know you need to get moving, so I can definitely understand wanting to just make a straight play for it.
That poor fourth sword. It's never going to be picked up at this point.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. You know where those silvers are. You know you're going to get the mirror for your go mode anyway, so... Yeah, tempered and silver's just fine.
Alright, so Gem is going to skip out on the cutscene chest. Hopefully he keeps going all the way over to the right side to grab those 10 arrows, gets the second item out of this dungeon, so he can kind of just, you know, not lose any more time, because he's already a little bit in a hole at this point.
Mm-hmm. And there it is, first chest in Turtle Rock.
Of course. Alrighty, so 112 and some change. Zelda is in go mode, heading for Swamp Palace. Quick dungeon to get through, and then we'll be up the tower soon enough. So it's looking pretty good for Zelda at this point. GT routing could get kind of silly if you know, we get a really kind of rude big key location. Could see things swing a little bit, but remains to be seen at this point where that might be.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, this was a seed that was, you know, very, very front-loaded with items. And, you know, looking at where the placement for some of the items were, we had one item in every pendant dungeon or through a pendant dungeon. Because we had the flippers in Thieves Town, we had Bombos on Green Pendant, and obviously we had the mirror just now in Turtle Rock. So, you know, those were like really the only 3 items that were kind of out of the way, I guess you could say.
Yeah, right. Gem getting some nice spins on the eyeballs there. A couple of arrows, and that'll be it for Vitreous. So Gem is likely to make the same play up to Turtle Rock. He'll have his mirror shortly. Zelda made his way to the back of Swamp Palace now.
This is one of the good things about a go mode mirror, or at least a go mode item for Swamp, is because going through Swamp is so very fast when you're not looking for everything. It's just very nice, very quick, and right after that we'll be on our way to GT, so not too much left of the seed.
Yeah, it feels. I think Swamp Palace is the dungeon that you can really save the most time on if you're go moding, because if you're full clearing it, it just, man, it takes forever. I think if you get really lucky with maybe like the keys in Pod could also be pretty quick, but Swamp Palace go mode is always the best.
Yes, Swamp and Ice, definitely.
Ice is a pretty big one. You can, yeah, definitely cut a lot of time out of Ice as well.
Yep, Gem immediately making that Turtle Rock play as well. He'll have his mirror very, very soon. And with that, Zelda gets his 7th crystal, which means lots of numbers coming in the chat. What do we got going on, Sabo?
Well, it's everyone's favorite game. It's the big key guessing game. There are 22 locations where the big key can be in the GT basement. So put your numbers in the chat there. We've got a nice leaderboard going now. The wonderful Synac bot that we've got taking care of that. So Gem gets his mirror. He's in go mode. He's going to hustle down to Swamp Palace, try and catch up here. Yeah, so put your numbers in the chat there. Slim, what do you think, man? Where's this big key going to be?
I'm sticking with my go-to of 8 on this one.
Yo, 8. That's a hype choice. Man, I don't know. I'm feeling like a 12 today.
Okay, sounds good. You have
I mean,
to go through half of them. So
yeah. And this race has been a 12 out of 10, so 12 it is.
Couldn't say it better myself. So the Zelda does pick up the silver arrows. Does remember that they are right there. So good that he went that way and not the other way. Otherwise, he'd have a bit of an awkward route to get those silvers. But we have those in hand. Just going to be focused on Ganon's Tower checking. And, with the layout, I'm sure he's the items in the seed. I'm sure he's not at all sure where his opponent is right now. On some level, he could be wondering why he hasn't finished yet. So he's going to have to also kind of keep those emotions in check while he's climbing the tower. Just focus on his own game, his own execution. And he should be good to go. He's got a go mode Swamp ahead of Gem right now.
Yeah, I mean, probably thinking about that full clear of Thieves Town. That's the kind of a play you're like, okay, I definitely ate like 2 minutes there. But probably not feeling too bad entering the tower at this point. Putting off, I guess, Eastern Palace to a last location, basically. but yeah, definitely you're up against Gem, number 1 seed. You're still gonna feel it.
Yeah, I mean, if Zelga keeps this together and finishes strong here, this will be the first defeat Gem has had in groups and bracket stage. So, getting that early bow, I think, really kind of paid off for Zelga. He was able to kind of focus a little more on crystal dungeons at the very beginning. Had definitely a bit faster of a kind of a light world cleanup.
Yeah, and how about that? Big key on the torch. That's number 3. So, Taika, Pina, you are taking home those 42 points on the leaderboard. Congratulations.
So yeah, now Zelga is approaching the gauntlet. Just going to need to focus straight on execution here. Gauntlet's definitely one of the more like skill-intensive parts of just a normal randomizer seed, because got a lot of enemies you have to defeat. The RNG of the enemies and their movements can be, they can differ so much from every playthrough. Just how you handle these rooms, that definitely shows the remarkable skill of these players, and we'll have to see how Zelga handles this.
Yeah, he's probably going to be watching his arrow count, but a lot of arrow drops there, so he should be able to pick something up along the way. I'm sure he's keeping that in mind. Grabs the pot with the 5 arrows underneath it. Yeah, that's smart.
Wow, really nice room 3 there.
Yeah.
And get some more arrows right there, so that'll be what he's going to be using on Landmo here, which is perfect. And yeah, perfect Landmo fight too.
Yep. Gem takes down Argus there, so he'll be heading up to GT as well. Zelda through Wizrobes 1, heading for Wizrobes 2. No match for those Canis and Mario shots there. Really clean with torches here. Gem picks up the silvers as well. Zero interest in any of the chests up in the top part of the tower here. Not a surprise. We are not looking for anything else. We are ready to go against Gam.
Yeah, the only thing that would be, somewhat nice is like maybe a mail upgrade for damage resistance, or, even half magic to kind of give more leeway with the torch glitch and everything there. But even then, like, we have silvers, that's not going to be a main concern. And yeah, we know where that last sword is, so no reason to look for that. So gonna go straight to the end here.
Alright, he gets a double off the first one there. And another. Dang, would have been nice to finish it off there. You could tell he's a little upset that he missed that one, but gets it on the next one, and we're through with a 2-2-1-1. He's already playing the boss theme on the door there. Gem going right in GT here. You know, you get that first key. You want to check out Compass Room, see what's going on there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, into the Ganon fight. So looks like a good position there for Zelda to maybe get the one cycle here.
Yeah, very, very nice and very efficient sword strokes there. Does get him to phase 3. Only one cycle for both of the first 2 phases. So just has to get these 4 hits in here, then 4 hits and 4 silvers, and we are good to go.
Ganon trying his best to avoid Zelda here with a couple of teleports. It's like a nice double here. And finish off with maybe another.
Great double. Yes,
Yeah.
really nice. Get those GGs in chat, everyone.
Alrighty, your winner for game 1 of this amazing game 3-game series here. Zelgadissan finishes in first place with an SRL time of 1:25:18. GG's. And our boy Gem, you know, you're close, but you know you've had enough of the seed. He forfeit after this one, so he's also finished up. Put your GGs in chat for Gem as well. Great effort there. Just a little bit unlucky getting to a couple items today. Hopefully we can pull both of these guys in and have a chat with them. Alrighty, I see Zelda there, so let's grab him. Zelda, buddy, GG's. How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, GG's. This was getting stressful trying to find those last items, but we pulled it out.
Yeah, man. It was such a generous seed early on. Lots of items, lots of directions you could have gone. Yeah, definitely. As a runner, you're just so frustrated when you're doing checks and you're just not coming up with anything.
Yeah, whenever I got the pod, and it wasn't until I was inside that I realized that I basically probably only needed the mirror and the flippers for go mode. I didn't know if I needed bombos yet for Misery Mire at the time. So when I was doing pod, I realized this is totally not the place to be because it's bow locked. The bow was behind the flippers. So I was kind of hoping that as I realized that, I just kind of kept trying to figure out where to go, what to do, and try and keep track of that early logic about where everything could be based on that bow. And then finally I found the flippers, but then it still took forever to get the rest of it. Man. But yeah, the opening was really generous overall in terms of putting the items in places we could get them.
Yeah, it feels like the sequence break for the bow was kind of a big deal. Gem was playing in logic for quite a while there, so that was probably enough to make the difference in this one. Yeah, and it seemed like definitely at the end game there, it got a little bit linear. There wasn't, I mean, you guys just had cleared everything else out by that point. It was interesting that you guys both left Eastern Palace so late. I mean, it was a pendant, so it wasn't really too appealing. But that both of you put it off was interesting.
Yeah, it was one of those things where if I didn't go to it early, I probably just didn't want to go to it, period. Like, I got that bow super early, but then I also had Dark World access pretty soon after because the Fire Rod led me to Desert, which led me to the Hook Shot, which led me to the Mitts. So I never really had a good reason to go to Eastern, but like if I needed Dark World access or something that would have made sense, I probably would have full cleared it early. But once I was there, it's like I just don't feel like going back. I think when I finally went back, I had Magic Bat, Purple Chest, and Uncle in front of Escape, which at least it wasn't in Escape. That's all I can say, because I was putting that off forever. Death to Uncle. I hate Uncle starts, so I try. If that's how I'm going to lose, I'll go down with that ship. I'll just lose because of Escape. I'm fine with that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the only thing you missed from that front of Escape was the mushroom, which did not lead to anything, so you definitely got the benefit of not checking it in this seed. But, man, what was going through your mind, like, at the beginning when you first saw it, and then especially, like, at the end there when that ice rod, like, you know, you knew Turtle Rock was a pendant this whole time. It's like, okay, I probably don't need this, but as you know, things started to shrink down and locations started to, you know, get smaller on your list. Like, did you think at any point like that would be like the big part of the seed, that ice rod?
When I first saw it, I just assumed it was required. I assumed there was going to be Turtle Rock Crystal, so I just had it in my head it was an Agaseed. Then I finally got to Dark World and saw it was a pendant, so it was always in the back of my mind, but whenever it came down to I couldn't even access Turtle Rock until I was one item away from go mode, I felt like, especially against a great runner like Jim, I can't sacrifice 5 minutes on the off chance it's on Trinex on the pedestal. I just have to make a go for it. And if that's another case, if it's on Trinex or it's on the pedestal, you just kind of tip your hat. Maybe you get there first, maybe you don't, but it's going to be a last location at that point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any more questions. It was a great race to watch, though. Any final thoughts on this one, Zelda?
No, nothing really. I am a little interested to hear that I had the bow and I guess probably the fire rod really early in comparison, so that's interesting. I kind of figured we probably both had it.
Yeah, it was interesting. You had just the bow, actually, as Jem did do some fake flipper action up to the waterfall. So had the fire rod, which was nice for his Desert Palace play. But yeah, he skipped out just on the hobo check, unfortunately. So that was, yeah, definitely a big part of this one.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a play I even do sometimes. Like, it kind of just spur of the moment. I decide whether I'm going to do hobo or if I'm just going to skip him and leave him. Like, I don't think I did hobo at all in the last series I did with Scary Olive, so I can understand that play. It's just unfortunate this time.
Alrighty, Slim, you got anything else? I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good too. Very, very interesting race to watch. As Sabo said, it did kind of come down to that bow. Kind of allowed you to kind of focus on the crystal dungeons a bit earlier, and you know, while at some point when Jem got it and he started working on Pod, you were kind of working on Thieves Town, so you know, it kind of evened out a little bit at that point, but you just kind of had, I think, the right mindset. The early routing, I think, kind of worked a little better for you, and you know, that was able to give you that win here. So GG on that, and best of luck on you tomorrow. And best of luck to Jem as well, who I saw is not going to be joining in this interview, which is perfectly fine. But GG to both of you, and good luck to both of you on, you know, one game, maybe even two. I know you're probably not hoping for that, Zelga, but, you know, got some interesting races to come up for sure if today is not any indication.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if I lose this 2-1. Jem's a great runner, so I'll just look forward to tomorrow. We'll see what happens. GG's to Jem, and thank you guys for doing the commentary, the tracking, the restream. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll hopefully catch the people
anytime, bud. Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, so with that, I think we'll sign off here. Big shout outs to our tracker, SaberUX. Click on those buttons, much appreciated. My co-com, Slim Kirby, my dude, I'm so glad we got to call this one. It was a real blast having you in the booth with me here. I had a great time.
Same to you as well, man. I always enjoy calling races with you. It's a lot of fun. You're always amazing to work with. And also, thanks to all of our lovely viewers who decided to come out and watch this with us as well. Very interesting race. Definitely join us tomorrow. Looks like, you know, no restream setups have been done just yet, but looks like it's going to be the same time tomorrow at 1:20 for game number 2. And right after that, looks like game number 3 will be happening if that is required. So join us tomorrow for that. This has been Slim Kirby. Thanks for watching, everyone. Shout outs to both runners once again, Jim and Zelgadissan, and we'll see you guys later.